G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. We've done the death metal vinyl update. It's time for the black metal one. I'm feeling frostbitten. Let's get into it. Or I should be saying I wish I was feeling frostbitten. It is 35 degrees out here in Australia right now. Tomorrow is going to be worse. I'm anything but Blashric right now. This is getting scorching summer weather. Not a fan, but hey, let's talk about some freezing cold black metal because most of my audience are living in the snow right now, and I wish I was there with you guys. The first one we're taking a look at here is a brand new band, whole new band here. This is Taubrą, or Taubrą, I don't know, is T-A-U-B-R-A, but the A has got a little squiggly down the bottom, so you tell me what I'm supposed to do with that. Album is called Therizo. Debut release from this band, they're out of Switzerland, and it is familiar sounding because this is combining two members from also Swiss band Ara, A-A-R-A, who did Triad 3 Nix this year. I talked about that one. Two members from that band are the main writer and guitarist and the drummer, combined with a new bassist and a new vocalist, doing a bit more of a more direct approach for black metal here. Ara is a bit more atmospheric. It's got the blinding speed, and they've got their pretty infamous sort of like breakdown kind of groove things that they do. Not so much those breakdown things here. It still has the speed. It is still quite melodious, melodic, but it is not, I would say, as atmospheric. When we're talking about sort of subgenres, it's got that clean production. It's very crisp sounding, just like Ara, but the difference mainly here is the vocals. Ara's got very much banshee scream vocals that are kind of off-putting for some people if you're really not into that. Cradle of Filth style, just like breaking the glass vocals. That's the issue you might have with Ara. Then you're in safe hands here. This is very similar sounding, but not exactly the same sounding music. But the vocals are more traditional sounding. It's deeper, snarled. The vocalist is a guy called Ruben from a band called Ilhalong. Who's a band I need to check out. I don't actually know too much about them. And it's deeper. It is more like that sort of late era Mortus from Marduk, that kind of thing. Very easy to understand what he's saying. It is still very strong similarities to Ara with the music, but yeah, those vocals are quite different. That's not to be unexpected. I mean, the music is written by the same guitarist and the same drummer, so of course there's similarities here. Have that emotional way that they hook you into a song. That's what I always said about Ara, and it's very, that's no different here with Taubrą. The riffs sort of build up to that crescendo that they do, and then either goes into some crash, like, brings you right down, or it is into a faster sort of blasting section or something. They do have that similar style here. Just like Ara. So the bottom line is really, if you like Ara, you're going to like Taubrą. And if you didn't like Ara because of the vocals, you're gonna like Taubrą. So check this thing out. If you're into the modern, polished black metal sound, but not too overproduced, you really can't see much going on there. Actually, it's inside of a cave or something. But not much going on there. Yeah, if you like clean black metal, but I'm not talking about your super over polished Dimmu Borgir, then check out Taubrą. This is good stuff. This LP, color LP, interesting. Sort of black and brown splatter kind of thing. Matches the cover artwork. Didn't request that, it's just what showed up. And a lyric sheet there, which is nice. There we go, there's some photo there. There's somebody there holding something. What do we got? He's got something on his hand. I don't know, it's a big ring or something. But anyway, there you go, 4-piece as listed there. So yeah, really, really good release, and not surprising. I mean, yeah, it's a debut album, but, when the music is written by half of Ara, who have done, 5 or 6 albums now, it's unlikely to be bad. So yeah, check it out. Taubrą, Therizo. Next up we have the very, very nice release here from Gulguhk, which is Gulguhk, Gulguhk, with Et flotteront les restes de ses monde lugubre. Nailed it! Translates to, and the remains of this dismal world will float. Raw black metal band, French black metal out of Quebec. I reviewed this band's demo. They did last year, I think it was, maybe the year before. Very strong release, that one. And this full length does not change the formula whatsoever. And when I say a band, I'm saying it is a one-man. It is Finian from Ifenak, a band that I've talked about quite a lot. Again, French-Canadian black metal band. Whereas Ifenak can be a bit more experimental in its sound, particularly between albums. That thing goes from atmospheric black metal, raw black metal, to he's got a cover of Sam Haines songs. It's all over the map. This is very straightforward. It's got a layer of keys in there. It's got quality riffs, very dependable sounding song structures, but it's just really good black metal. Not much more you can say about it. It's interesting when I was reading up a little bit about the the making of, like, why this album exists, that kind of thing. Because there's this underwater sound played sort of on each track, and you can see here that we're at a river or something along those lines. People looking down, like something has gone into the river. Well, this LP is put out by Azra, but the tape was put out by Tour de Garde, and on their website they say it's a 4-song homage to the castaways and their legends that have haunted the shores of Gaspésie since the Great Crossings. The ghosts of the past watch you from their underwater battlements. So, yeah, it is. There's the boat. So it's like shipwreck black metal. It's the drowned members of the boat that are screaming to you from underwater. It's just really good stuff. Underwater, apparently they found a crab. I love that their logo has these crab claws on it. It's just great, and it's sort of seeping, like the whole thing's growing like it's got roots into like an underwater plant or something, but I don't know, it's an amazing logo. But anyway, there's a very little other things I can say about it. It's just straightforward black metal. It is very raw in its production, and 4 tracks, has an underwater theme. It's good stuff. I would definitely recommend checking this one out if you want to just check out some other things that Finian from Ifenak has done. Old Fur is another band of his that he's done. So, don't expect to hear much Ifenak in here. Maybe the first demo, the first album or so, but otherwise, straightforward black metal. Like I said, it's out on Azra. This is a black LP edition. Nothing too exciting there. There you go. What is exciting, actually, I should mention, well, not exciting, but whoops, is that we've got a side B and side B. Whoops. No, it's just the label. Music is different on both sides. Don't know if I'm the lucky one or if the entire press has got that issue, but who cares? And you get, there's old Finian there looking very much in the background with his candelabra. And Battalion de l'Ancre Noir. Sure. I'm very bad with anything that's not Australian flavoured English, so excuse me there. Gulguhk with, you know what I said, and the remains of this dismal world will float. We'll go with that. Good stuff. Next up is one of my absolute favourite black metal releases of 2023. I've had this one for a bit now. I've actually had quite a few of these albums for at least 2 months, some of them 3 months. I just haven't got around to doing a black metal update. That included them, but this one I've been playing quite a bit, and it weighs a lot. It is physically heavy, and I'll show you why. This is Ebony Pendant with their self-titled sophomore full-length, and like I said, one of my favourites of the year. It just delivers exactly what I wanted from this band. Definitely in that ballpark of your Lamp of Murmur, not so much their last one, but the things that came before it. The middle era kind of sort of Lamp of Murmur before they were getting a little bit more experimental. And that itself, that era was sort of based on your Judas Iscariot. And, you've got here the power of the Norwegian Dark Throne riff played with an American flair. That's Ebony Pendant. It's straightforward, but really, really, really excellent and well done black metal. We'll flip it over. So it is 2 LPs, 4 sides. It's why it weighs a lot. The second track, though, so the first track I've just sort of said, very dark throwing. We start getting into early Immortal territory. The vocals get a little bit more goblin-like. The third track, it even says Immortal, Son of Damnation. We're getting very pure Holocaust at this point. The production's very on par with something like pure Holocaust. fast forward to side 3, the second LP. The song Whispers of Nameless Fear. It starts off slow with like a sort of sparse, clean guitar, clean bass, very minimal drums. It's a very light intro. When the distortion and the vocals come in, the pace doesn't change. So usually that kind of thing, they do their intro and you're like, wait for it, and then it blasts in. It doesn't. It just adds the distortion and it plays at the same pace. It's a bit more like sort of Kek Darak at that point. And then eventually it does double the pace, adds some more layers to it, more tortured vocals, and ultimately becomes probably the best track on the album for me. There's a lot going on in that one. But the follow-up, there's a sort of instrumental. Then we have A Flame Imperishable, which is a great word. It gives it a run for its money, adds in a really, truly fantastic sort of melodic black metal hair windmilling middle piece. That is so good. When I heard that the first time, I'm like, damn, that's a put the needle back kind of situation. It's so well done. The whole thing is great. And although I sort of said, Dark Throne, Immortal, that kind of thing, it's the sum is more than its parts here. Everything is actually quite different song to song. There's a lot of variation as far as you can go in that kind of straightforward black metal sound. I think it's a fantastic album. We'll take a look inside. Well, firstly we get the gatefold, which again is quite sparse. You just get your candles, looking very gothic and scary. I mean, it's the same setting as he's got there. And we get, the LP's just black, so nothing too exciting there. Yeah, black with the center label. And it's all got a red card. You won't really be able to see it, but the inner flush is all red. Why this thing weighs a ton is this. I'm not going to say it's a booklet. The book that comes with it. Jesus, I mean, let's. There's the sort of band sort of emblem kind of thing there on the back. But this is, you get photos, you get the lyrics, all these wonderful pictures drawn. So heavy. Look at that. Lyrics of every song, and because it's double LP, there's just so much going on in terms of the quantity of pages here, the quantity of songs. So the lead on this has more flourish than those sort of aforementioned bands I spoke about. It's definitely not just chromatic black metal riffs. It is quite interesting. There's always something extra added as well, like this. There might be like an interesting sort of tail piece to a riff, or a full acoustic session with like a tambourine or something, or just the riffs themselves are just very multi-layered. So yeah, as I said, lots going on here. There's a couple of 90s sounding dungeon synth tracks, which are very nice. Ebony Pendant just gets better with each release, and as I just learnt, it's a 2-piece, at least on this one. Their second full length, but they had many EPs, some splits with other bands since they formed in 2019. So yeah, it's a double album, like I said, runs for almost an hour, pretty much bang on. A lot of black metal for your bucks here, as you can see in the booklet. And it doesn't get old, thanks to that variation in the songs and just how much is here. 60 minutes of just raw black metal, you're starting to yawn, but that is not what you get with Ebony Pendant. It is well thought out, well constructed, and quite dynamic for the genre. So definitely worth checking out. And as I said, so SC, who is the main instrumentalist, if not the only person in the band anymore, is Simon Kuzbum, who plays drums in the death metal band Degraved. And I've got their demo, and I need to pick up the EP. I've shown the EP in shopping videos that I've done before. It's sitting at the shops. I should go get it. They had, it's a great EP. It's called Whispered Morbidity, and I need to pick that one up. But he's all over the map. He's got his black metal, he's got his death metal. But excellent stuff here from Ebony Pendant. This one's out on Azra. You can get CD as well. Highly recommend picking it up. The next one is a reissue that I was so thrilled to see get listed on the Amor Fati website, where I've gotten quite a lot of these albums from that I'm showing today. Not all, but quite a lot of them. But this one was there, and I had to blink for a second to make sure. Is that just a CD? No, it's the LP edition, which was back in print. Maybe it still is. This was only about 6 weeks ago. Evilfeast, Elegies of the Stellar Wind, 2017 album. Double album, 2 LP here, which much needed reissue here. Hasn't had a vinyl reissue in a little while. I've never managed to pick it up. It was a glaring hole in my Evilfeast collection. I pretty much got them all on LP except for this one, and now I've got this one. So why am I so happy? This is one of the best modern atmospheric black metal albums of sort of the modern era. Taking a very highly symphonic sound of Emperor, that kind of stuff, with a more bombastic and medieval approach to the symphonic parts of it. And then that direct German take of someone like Luna Aurora, sort of their middle era kind of things. Bands like Beketh Nexum, who have a lot of Evilfeast in their sound, and the reason I say in their sound and not the other way around is that you would think Evilfeast is a new band, or at least 2017, a modern band, and they've only been around since 2015 or something. These guys formed in 1998. Their first demo was 2002, and when I say they, again, a single-man band. This is the project of Grim Spirit. He just plays everything on this. And at this point in 2017, he had, 15 years of playing to just really nail the approach of this band. And it's flawless. This is exactly what I remember when this thing came out, and I bought it on tape at the time. It blew up. Everybody was excited for this thing. It was very nurturing of that 90s sound, but it was adding its own elements to it. It's not a direct rip-off or homage or anything like that. It is definitely got its own flavour, to the point that you would have heard me in Black Metal Updates comparing bands to Evilfeast, because they added their own sort of notch to the ladder. It is outstanding stuff. And like I said, it's being a one-man band, but of this caliber, it's actually quite remarkable, because some of this is so complex and multi-layered. Even the synth, there's a lot going on that. Well done to him. There's the back. It's all very much grey and black and white, and Germanic fonts, so no idea what that says. I'd have to really study it. It is their fifth and their latest full length. Now, they've had EPs and demos. The latest thing he did was in 2021. Did a split with Nipalahan, who is a sister project of Beketh Nexum. So, again, picking the right kind of bands to play with there, and good comparison points. You like Nipalahan, and you've not for some reason heard Evilfeast, you will like Evilfeast. They're quite similar bands. And like I said, it is just one of the best modern black metal releases, this particular one. Bar none. I absolutely love this thing. And now that I've got an LP, I've been thrashing it. Absolutely thrashing, because the tape was getting a bit sad, it's got to be said. There you go. Wonderful looking gatefold there with all the lyrics. And beautiful. As I said, 2 LP. Just black LPs, nothing too exciting there. And it's just the LPs, everything else was in the gatefold. So, if you don't know Elegies of the Stellar Wind, you probably really should. If you like black metal and you're very happy to have it drenched in keys but sounding medieval and not pompous, it is, highly recommended. So check it out, Evilfeast, Elegies of the Stellar Wind, finally reissued by Eisenwald. So speaking of Nipalahan and Beketh Nexum, this is Nattfärd, one of the many projects of that guy. I'm not even going to attempt. I never do, because not a chance. But one of his projects, along with Alex Paul from Haxanu, my Totem Pass, such a good album of this year. And what's his name? Lik Predikaran from Ringar, who is on vocals on this one. So with those three, I already knew it was going to be good. You might already guess it's going to be good. It's good. This is good stuff. Just like the first album from this project, which I would have shown earlier this year. It had a release on LP earlier this year. That was Forest Realm Eternal. This one, The Abyss, absolutely delivers with better production and better riffs, but is quite a different beast from that first album, or that first EP or demo. I'm not entirely sure what that was listed as. It was very short. I suppose it was an EP. That first one was kind of meandering. 2 tracks over 23 minutes. That's what you got on the first one, which is way more sort of atmospheric. And as I said, sort of, it was meandering. It was a slower approach. This thing, The Abyss, is devastating and crushing black metal. 6 tracks this time and an outro going for nearly half an hour. and it just smashes you in the head, this one. Speed, ferocity, but again, that crystal clear, but not overproduced production that you've got with something like Totem Pass from Haxanu. Tight tremolo riffs for the most part. The drums have a real weight to them. Real heavy sounding drums. They blasting, alternating with double kicks. I cannot make out on the back here who the drummer is. So we have a man who I cannot pronounce, and we've got Alex is one of these guys under a pseudonym, and there's another guitarist as the guitar and vocals. So there's 3 on guitar. One of them also doing vocals, and down here we've got drummer, and I have no idea what that says. It's the most Germanic font ever, and I cannot find anything online about who the drummer is, but I do not believe it's the drummer from the first release. So there you go. Nattfärd, gorgeous cover artwork on this too. Very Lord of the Rings-esque. If you are a fan of Haxanu's Totem Pass, which I am hugely a fan of, I've talked about left, right, center, and I'm trying to get everybody I can to listen to that album. If you want it even heavier sounding, bigger, fuller, more aggressive, check out Nattfärd with The Abyss. Outstanding release. Next up, we have a very, very good debut from a new German band. Another one that was on Amalfati, and I saw the cover and went, oh, let's give that a sample. And I thought, that is very, very strong. This is Hagatiz, Cursed to the Night. Though it's not one I can particularly talk that much about. It's not like it is the most original type of black metal in the world. I can't use multiple adjectives to describe this kind of thing. It is just straight up German black metal. That should be enough to explain what's going on here. It's sort of mid-paced to going into faster sound, but never super blasting and never doomy. Quite anthemic riffs. It just falls into place nicely where you expect a German black metal band to fall into place. It does everything it says on the tin. It's just, it's what you expect, it's what you get. But when it's done as well as it is for this particular album, I can't complain. I've listened to this about 5 or 6 times at this point. It is just second wave sounding German black metal. It's not at all majestic. There's no keyboards until the outro track. It's also equally not as raw as like Transylvanian Hunger or something like that. It's clear, concise, well delivered, well played German black metal. It would be hard to feature something like this in a top 10, but I would really encourage people to check it out, and then I might see it in lots of honorable mentions lists. It doesn't stand out. It's not reinventing anything. But if you're a black metal addict and you just lap it all up, I would highly recommend checking this one out. Hagatiz, Cursed to the Night. I mean, it's so vanilla looking. It's just white on black, straightforward. You get your your classical painting used as the artwork with a logo, and that's it. That's your lot. It is just straightforward black metal, but it's exactly what it's intending to do. So for that, amazing. The band members, there are 3 of them. They're in a score of other bands, and I have to admit, I'm not that familiar with them, so I've got some learning, some homework to do on the other bands that these guys are in, because although this isn't reinventing anything, it's incredibly strong, and if that's the skill set these guys have got, I have to check out all of their other works. The main band I recognise was Shattenthron, which is one that I've got. It's very, I guess you just say no frills black metal, that one, a bit more raw. That's from 2017, it's an album that I've got. Very good stuff. Again, though, it's just straightforward. I mean, the German bands, a lot of the time, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. They're not trying to get weird and wonderful. You just sign up for black metal and you get it. There's also a member from Ebithic who is a death metal band. I've shown on here before. Have a release on Iron Boneheads. So yeah, bit of a death metal influence in here as well. But yeah. Based on the quality of the material on Cursed to the Night here, I'm very keen to go check out the quite lengthy discographies from the bands that the members are in. So yeah, more exploring for me to do. As for this, what have we got in here? Get lyric sheet with another little image down there on the bottom. And there's the band, 3-piece lineup like I mentioned. Another cool little image there. And as you would expect with a black and white cover of a German black metal band, you get a black LP and you will be thankful for that. So yeah, it's, as I said, it's a hard one for me to give you all the superlatives about, but don't take that for granted. It's an excellent release. Curse of the Night by Hagatiz. The last one we're going to take a look at in this very steamy and hot black metal LP update. The sweat is dripping off my brow. It seems also in every black metal video I've done in recent months, I've had another release from somebody in one of these bands. And this is an entirely new band, yet again, from somebody in Gauntlet Ring. This is Atheosophia with Shadowgate of Winter's Spirit. We've had Fellwinter, then I showed Arbor, which was excellent. Now Atheosophia, and this is also again another solo project from Taurus, who is in all of those bands, and it is excellent. The guy is very talented at whatever sub-branch of black metal he wants to tackle. Very skilled. It is fast, it is very organic. Drums are incredibly snappy on this, real snappy sound to them. But the guitars are very plug in and play, sort of, they drone out to feedback at the end of each song, like Oliver might have done in the early days. Very live sounding. And given that it's only one-man band, it's surprisingly how fully formed that Shadowgate of Winter's Spirit sounds. It could easily pass as a 3 or 4 piece in my books. It's very, very well mixed together to get one person playing all of the instruments and come out with a thing that sounds like an album and not just a collection of riffs all sort of slammed together. So yeah, very powerful sounding. The vocals are relentlessly barked, very similar to how he does in the other projects. Sporadic use of keyboards, sort of layered in there at times. Sort of a very diabolical full moon mysticism kind of vibe to the whole thing. So yeah, it is really, really strong. And unfortunately, being that it's a Blood and Crescent release, if you want the LP, you have missed it already. It's go hunt down Discogs and that kind of thing, or go shake a few distros for leftover copies if you're really lucky. But yeah, it's a challenge getting their stuff sometimes, but I'm very happy to have this. You can get CDs, of course, though, so go check out the distros and Blood and Crescent's website if you're just happy with the CDs. Yeah, Atheosophia, Shadowgate of Winter's Spirit. It's just, the guy does so many good things. Yeah, why it needs to be a separate band. It is pretty similar to Arbor, it's got to be said, but whatever, I don't care. Just keep putting out good stuff. It is really, really good. Wonderful picture there on the back too. Another classical piece. 6 tracks there. All instruments and vocals by Taurus. There you go. So good stuff out on, Blood and Crescent. Take a look inside. There's a couple of things in here. The LP is, of course, on black for black metal. And we get a poster. I think it's the first poster we've had in this update, which is very different from the cover. Just old Taurus there. He's even wearing an Arbor shirt in this one. So, yeah, good stuff. And that's it. That is Atheosophia, Shadowgate of Winter's Spirit. Just another quality release from Taurus of Fellwinter, Arbor, and Gauntlet Ring. And good stuff. That is this black metal update. I desperately need a drink and to get under a fan. I'm very jealous of you people that are playing in the snow right now while I am stewing away my own juices. But that's enough of that. Hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you hadn't checked out the death metal update, click up here for that one. And check out also whatever this thing is. Check out the links in the description to listen to what these bands sound like. I'll see you all next time.